Duncan Disorderly columnist Duncan Garner says New Zealand urgently needs a population debate and immigrant workers immediately. Tell us more, Duncan.
I think that we haven't had a population debate, and if you look at all the constraints in the New Zealand economy right now, it all seems to be about supplying the New Zealand economy, whether it be with materials or with workers. We need workers. You know, it's New Zealand's dirty little secret that we can't run New Zealand with the people that are here right now. We need consistent flow of talent and skills that we don't have. You know, we don't have a lot of this talent, a lot of this skill. We need to plug the gaps. So we desperately need to go and choose these people. You know, businesses I've spoken to have said to me that they are sending their teams, they're not waiting for government, because they need to be ahead of that curve. So they're overseas now trying to find the people that they need in a year's time, 2 years' time, 6 months' time. And with that comes a population debate. How big do we want the biggest city to be? Where do we want the people to be? If we bring people in, do we want them all in Auckland, or is the capacity an issue? So do we want them in Wellington? What about Christchurch? That's been rebuilt. Is there capacity there? What sort of industries do we want? We've never had this debate, I don't think. We've in an ad hoc way just thrown immigration into the mix and said, right, all get on, all do these jobs, and we'll see at the end of it. Can we not plan things a bit better? Paul Spooney, professor of population growth and so forth, he's a big advocate for a population debate. He'd be a perfect guy to mediate this sort of thing. But do we want to be 6 million? If so, when is that going to happen? 2050? And where are the people going to be? Where are they going to live and work? So we need this debate, and now's the perfect time because of COVID. It's the reset.
How do we even compete with other countries who are also opening up to immigrant workers?
Well, we need to at least be in the fight. And we are one of the last to open up. We still have these restrictions in place that other countries don't. They look at us and think, why are you still wearing masks and why are you limiting yourself? Australia's let international students in. We haven't. We do this next year. The ships are back in Sydney Harbour in terms of cruise ships. Ours aren't. Oh, but the government said it's only $20 million as an industry. Yeah, but that's 20 million. That's how economies make up the billions, because you just add the 20 million and 100 billion and that's what happens. I think it's a bit dismissive. I wonder if this government is purposely restraining things to push up wages. It's just a feeling that maybe it's conspiracy theory, but I feel like something's going on.
You mentioned before that private companies are going out and doing their own recruitment drives overseas. Are there any barriers to more of them doing this?
No, I don't think so. They're doing it because, like they did with the rat tests, they can't wait for the public sector to arguably do what it says it might do one day. They need to go out there and secure rat tests, secure workers. They can't wait for a government pipeline of workers to come in. They need to go and identify the people they need and to get them here. And we can do that now with the borders open largely. So, but the people they need, they don't know where they are anymore. No one. It's this new normal, and we don't know if people want to come to New Zealand to do the international students, which is about I think it was a $3 billion industry, export income for New Zealand, getting international students here. Are they going to return? And what if they don't? What makes up that difference in our GDP? So everything's on again.
Is New Zealand ready for an influx of immigrants? I mean, housing, we don't have enough housing for New Zealanders, public transport, healthcare systems under strain.
We should have, that's a very good question that we could have asked any time in the last 30 years when the experiment took off. And we've had to build not alongside the immigration boom, but we've built behind it. And hence why we have 30,000 people in motels, because we haven't provided accommodation. I think I read a figure recently, there was 150 people arrive in Auckland every day and 80 were provided houses for. So there's always a shortfall. We need to get ahead of the curve. We simply can't close the country up and say, sorry, we'll just build some houses and we'll see you in 5 years. These companies need these people now, surveyors, architects, you name it, engineers. We need these people. Why New Zealanders aren't trained in these areas in sufficient numbers, I don't know.
Any suggestions to the government on how to solve this?
Get the immigration department sorted out. I think they are deliberately slowing things up with immigration because it pushes up wages here. I think it's deliberate. Now, I know people might think this is conspiratorial, but you look at this government's efforts around wages. They want to talk up wages rather than have productivity push up wages, and I think that's where the disconnect is. So if immigration New Zealand's not fit for purpose, if the systems aren't working, if the reset was very mild and it wasn't the big bang that people thought it might be, then look closer to home. And I wonder if they need to put a bomb under immigration New Zealand, start again and get it moving. It's too slow, and it's too unwieldy, and it's too confusing. And businesses need help now. They can't wait for some slow, archaic division of Immigration New Zealand in Wellington to get going. Why don't they wake up and get going? How hard is this to do? We need to connect people to the country with the skills and get on with it.
Duncan Garner, thank you very much for coming in.
You're welcome. No problems.